All right, folks, I'm going to see if I can prove that you can get to the hydraulic motor on a 2007 BMW Z4 without taking the roof off. But I've removed the 7 screws from the retaining channel, the aluminum channel. There you can see one of the screw holes. And I've also removed the aluminum brackets that are right in this vicinity inside. They're really far forward in the trunk, but you should be able to remove them with a star wrench. The reason I removed them was because I did take the roof off, and it's really hard to squeeze that U-shaped channel narrow enough to get inside of those loops. So let me see if I can wrangle this thing off. I've put down blue painter's tape, and then on top of that a layer of Gorilla tape, because it's much tougher, so if the metal does get out of my hand, it's not going to scratch the surface. Okay, so I've gotten the passenger side out. I worked entirely on the passenger side. It is very tight where the fabric meets the corner, because it goes right down to that corner, so there's not much slop. But with what little slack you have, you can get the front edge up and then start working your way around and get the back out. I'm pretty sure this would be impossible if that clip was holding the frame. I'm not sure you would be able to pop it out very easily without it sticking if you don't remove that clip altogether. I suppose it's possible, but I'm just more comfortable saying you should do it by removing that clip. And now I'm going to work my way around and see what I get on the other side and whether there's room to see the motor. Okay, I also want to point out that you can't pull this too far, because on this side you've got 2 hydraulic lines. I think you can see them there to the left of that white tape, which is on one electrical line. All right, I have done it. I have got the back of the roof pulled up. Back I will show you. It's open about 12 inches, and you can see where the motor was. You see that white Romex 110 volt cable? Well, that's my extension cord for the hydraulic unit, which I have moved into the trunk, and it's just hanging there right now. And if you search YouTube for Jean-Marie Antoine, that's A-N-T-O-I-N-E, Mustang, you'll see his recommendation for using a 2009 to 14 Mustang hydraulic pump and moving it into the trunk instead of putting it in the infamous BMW Z4 swimming pool right here. I'll point out some stuff. Here's the hydraulic cylinder down here. You can see the 2 lines going to it right there. Right here is a strain relief that I made. It's a spray, the top of a spray can, cut away almost all of it, but just leaving that inner circle and a lip, and it's fastened with 3 nylon ties, zip ties, because one of those hydraulic lines does a U-turn on the way to the pump, and I did that on both sides of the car to prevent it from kinking. Actually, I had to get back in here, so I had to do this experiment because I forgot to drill some extra holes in the swimming pool. Even though I don't have my hydraulic unit in there anymore, that both sides of the car still function as a gutter. Actually, the U shape and this weather stripping make the entire back of the convertible top a gutter, and you could say that this swimming pool is a downspout. Otherwise, water would just go all over the place in the back of the car. But clearly you can see it's one big plastic form, and it actually serves as a downspout. So if there are not enough holes in the bottom of that, it's a pretty dangerously flawed design, because water overflows into the passenger compartment. So I think that's all you need. I would estimate a half hour to take the 7 screws off and the 2 clips. Another half hour to tape the edge of the trunk and get the top, the convertible top pulled out. And you might be looking at 2 hours to replace the pump with a different pump. 2000, I think I got it, ended up getting a 2014 Mustang pump, but I haven't installed it yet. I'll report back when I get that going. But I got an estimate of $2,600 from the BMW dealer. I'm seeing for someone who, you know, once you've already done this, obviously there's a difference between someone confronting it for the first time, but I'm seeing a 4-hour job and a $165 replacement pump that I bought. So if, you know, taking the roof off for $2,600 just doesn't add up to me. Let's wrap it up by talking about a couple of the risks. You could scratch the back of the car. If you had an accident, you could damage this window. You could kink the hydraulic lines. Previously, I was like scared to death of something like that, but after reading that you can replace the hydraulic pump with an alternate that has a very similar serial number from the same manufacturer, Hobinger, I have a feeling you could also replace these hydraulic lines with generic lines. The obvious question being the fitting on the end. Something tells me BMW uses kind of standard fittings on the ends too. That'll do it. Good luck.